is Alumni Day. I have the pleasure of being joined today with Tiffany Winton. How are you doing today, Tiffany?
I'm wonderful and excited to be here.
Super excited to have you here. So, today we have a quad meet: Arizona State, Kent State, Oregon State, and Texas Women's University. So, let's start over in Phoenix, Arizona, or should I say Tempe, Arizona, with Sophia L. Manan. So, she last week was the Big 12 Specialist of the Week, the third weekly award this season for the Sun Devils Gymnastics. They also won all their events against West Virginia in their last meet. Overall, this year they are 4-3. Now, taking the trip to Kent State, they are coming off of a loss to Central Michigan. In that meet, they scored a season high 196 points. So, still something to be proud of there, even though they were not able to leave Michigan with the win. Now, going up north just a little bit over to Oregon State, their last meet they had a season best on beam and floor. Beam 49.350, floor 49.4, and Oregon State Gymnastics fell to Southern Utah. Now, bringing it back home to Texas Women's University. Last week, Kylie Gambari, she won Performance of the Week. That was her first time in her career. As you all remember, she was a big-time freshman last year, so really just continuing that on this year. Jordan Luke, she earned her first MIC Weekly Award of the season as well. She recently received the Co-MIC Coaches Choice Award this week. So really, really big deal for Luke, because that means that she is being identified by all the coaches during the conference. And then bringing it back a little bit more, Texas Women's posted a season-high team score on the road in a win. They finished 196.1, while the ladies scored 191.75, and it also marks the earliest point in the season the Pioneers have reached the 196 mark. So really just enjoying this season so far. So I know you have different ties to the TW gymnastics community. So for those at home, can you kind of explain a little bit of your ties to the program?
Absolutely. I am the current head coach for the Achievers Gymnastics women's team, and I have the pleasure of coaching Lisa Bowerman's daughter. She is our level 7 little beam queen.
Super excited again to have Tiffany with us. We will take a slight break, then we will get you into all the action. So just for you all to know at home, rotation 1, we will have TW on vault, Oregon State on bars, beam. We'll have Kent State, and Arizona State will take the floor for us. Okay, we welcome you back into Kitty Winter McGee Arena. Elena Reed from TW just finished up her vault, scored pretty big for the Pioneers, 9.775, which is really, really good for Elena. And now getting you some Kent State scores, they are taking on the beam, 9.4 for our first beam specialist here. Arizona State has standout sophomore Haley Barflat taking on floor first. She competes in all around, and she is from North Dakota. Another successful vault from the Pioneers. Maya McLaurin from Kent State, her scores and actually ended up being changed to a 9.35. Some slight deductions there from the judges. Sun Devils very excited about Bar Flat's performance on the floor. Zoe Rankin for Kent State. Pretty steady dismount there. Anything you saw there with the dismount?
Yeah, just a step on the landing. Could probably use a little more height, but pretty form, pretty legs, pointed toes, of course.
Rankin's season high is a 9.825 versus Western Michigan back in January. Sorry, her career high back in January 29, 2023. Jordan Luke, 9.65 for the Pioneers over on vault. Also have Juliana Baker, the standout freshman, 9.75 for the Pioneers.
Yeah, that was a pretty vault. One step on the landing, but otherwise that full looked real good.
Can't forget about Oregon State over there on bars. Casso with a score of 9.55. And Arizona State's first two floor routines are in. Lee, 9.8. Bar flat, 9.775. Little low for bar flat. She usually scores a little higher there. Interesting to see what the judges deducted on there for her floor routine. Nene Alvine for Kent State, currently on beam.
Looking a little shaky, but otherwise pretty form. Series coming up.
Earlier in warm-up, we saw her go through this portion of her routine.
Good finish.
Fantastic vault for the Pioneers over there with Kylie Gambari. She's pretty hype about it. Team's pretty hype about it. So excited to see what she gets over there. Nene Alvine named to the All-MAC second team all around. Also keeping those grades up. Academic All-MAC team selection as well. And she also appeared in all 9 meets prior to injury last year, competing all around 6 times. So big year last year for the sophomore. As we just watched her complete her beam routine, in 2024, she had a high score of 9.9 at the Tennessee Collegiate Classic. Danny Furtez. A very unique way to start off her beam routine. How would you say when usually gymnasts decide to start their beam routine in an alternate way, how would you say that gets the judges' attention from the beginning?
It definitely sets the tone for what's to come. It kind of sets them apart. The more creative it looks, then the judges get excited and they're wanting to watch those big skills.
Furtez pretty consistent on the beam with a season high 9.875 three times at Western Michigan, Central Michigan, and at the Tennessee Collegiate Classic. So 9.875 is usually the range that she's in. Excited to see if she can top that this evening.
She looks very confident. Little bobble there. Very clean and pretty free pass.
Definitely a beam routine that Furtez should be excited about.
Absolutely. Great dismount.
Haley George Ori just finished up for Arizona State on floor. She's a 5'2" junior from Minnesota. Oregon State still having some fun over there on the bars with a near perfect dismount. Two more scores in for Arizona State. Brumley in 9.875. Giorgio 9.850.
They're definitely having a good time on the floor over there, Arizona State. They look good. Very clean.
Delaney Kelly making her way into the lineup as a freshman from Lake Forest, Illinois.
I actually had the pleasure of judging her as a athlete coming up in the DEV program.
Seems like the world just gets smaller and smaller.
Always. It's a small, fun community.
Gabby Riley competing for Kent State on beam. Did most of her training at Crystal Lake Gymnastics with a high score last season of 9.875 on beam. Taking her time, using a little bit of this choreography to catch her breath and refocus.
She looks confident. Looks like she's having a good time.
Which is really hard to do, I'm sure, on beam.
Absolutely. You gotta bring that on beam. And she gets the stick on the dismount.
A perfect dismount. You could tell that when she landed, her chest was not ahead of her feet. She kept everything aligned, which really keeps from those stumbles or, wanting to catch your balance by doing one step forward or backwards. So definitely a routine there that Gabby Riley should be proud of.
Absolutely.
Sophia Isabel for the Pioneers, 9.85 on vault. Delaney Kelly on floor, 9.825 for Arizona State. Kylie Gambari, 9.825 for the Pioneers. Sophia Isabel, 9.85.
Great rotation for CWU. Good start.
Got some bar scores for you all. Arizona State's having all the fun on bars. Miller, 9.775. Exposito, 9.825. And Richardson, 9.85. Heidi Schultz. Oops, sorry.
Big double pike by Arizona State on floor. Huge. with the stick.
Sun Devils always have very precise tumbling passes in their floor routines. Heidi Schultz here for Kent State on beam, the 5'4" senior. High score on beam came on March 9th of last year against Ball State University, 9.925. She also won the individual MAC title on beam at the MAC championship. So safe to say beam is for sure her event.
Slight hop on the landing, otherwise beautiful beam routine. Very sharp, very clean.
Here for Arizona State on the floor, you're seeing a little bit more of their veteran lineup here with Kimberly Smith, 5'4" senior, competes in the all-around from Lake Forest, California.
Definitely a routine to be proud of. Looks good. Clean landings, very big double pipe.
Gabby Riley, 9.825 for Kent State.
Kent State's looking very confident on beam. Giving away minimal deductions for sure.
So the Pioneers have wrapped up their first rotation on vault, reading back some scores to you. Elena Reed, 9.775. Juliana Baker, 9.725. Maddie Murphy, 9.725. Kylie Gambari, 9.85. And Sophia Isabel, 9.85, bringing the Pioneers score to 48.95 for vault.
Gorgeous front aerial to scale by most on balance beam.
Anika Most on beam for Kent State. Another sophomore that has worked her way into the lineup very early on in her collegiate career. Did majority of her training at Capital City Flips.
That beautiful line. From fingers to toes, so straight.
Slight step back for Most on the dismount. Lilia Perler for Arizona State on floor. 5'3" junior, competes in the all-around.
Very powerful floor routine. Receiving very good score.
So Perler was competing in the expedition spot for the Sun Devils. Each team in this quad meet is allotted one expedition spot per event. We have rotation 2 of gymnastics tonight already for you at home. Arizona State on vault, Texas Women's University on bars, Oregon State on beam, and Kent State will take on the floor. Oregon State has a great addition to their coaching staff this year. Jade Carey will be a student coach for the remainder of the season for Oregon State. 4th highest all-around score in NCAA history, 16 perfect 10s in her college career, and most importantly, a part of the 2024 USA Women's Gymnastics team, competed on vault and floor, and as well as her teammate Jordan Childs over at UCLA, competing collegiately, 5 10s already in the year 2026. We will now go over to Oregon State on bars. Excuse me, Oregon State on beam. Mia Heather on beam for Oregon State. Her career high, 9.825 on beam. She is a junior from San Francisco, California.
Looking very clean on beam right now. Artistry is beautiful. Big skills. Dismount. Slight hop. Slight set. Otherwise, very nice.
Yeah, you can kind of see there on the dismount, her chest was a little ahead of her feet, so that kind of led her to want to step forward with that left foot there. Otherwise, a great performance from Mia. Zoe Rankin finishes up her floor routine for Kent State. Career high 9.9 on floor on February 24. Sorry, February 24th in 2024. A little bit of a tongue twister there against Central Michigan. Olivia Buckner on beam for Oregon State, junior from Riverton, Utah. Career high 9.9 twice against the number 12 Auburn last year on January 24th.
Big jump series by Buckner. Beautiful form.
Buckner with a lot of confidence on the beam.
Side aerial, just a little off of the head, but otherwise very pretty. Needs a little more height on that dismount for the stick.
Score in for Heather on beam for Oregon State, 9.75. Still waiting on the first score for Kent State on a floor. Arizona State, L. Montman, 9.925. Wilson, 9.775 on vault. Up next is Delaney Kelly for the Sun Devils on vault. Bailey Bourgeois started off bars for TWU, landing her a 9.825. Cami Zarlingo followed up with a 9.75. And Brooke Ferrari will actually anchor out bars for TWU today.
Big stick on bars for TWU.
Kaylee Cheek for Oregon State on beam. She is a freshman that has already found her way into the rotation And for those of you at home, on most of these gymnastics teams, there's can be upwards of 20 gymnasts on the team. So to be a freshman, working your way into the rotation, a score that counts, not an expedition spot, but a spot in the rotation is a really, really big deal for Kaylee Cheeks, the freshman from Spanish Fork, Utah, and did majority of her training at Bold Gymnastics.
Gorgeously fast, nice 15 step jump. And she gets to step.
Great job on beam for Kaylee Cheek. Elena Reed currently on bars for the Pioneers. Jordan Luke, 9.85 on bars. After Elena Reed, we'll have Pioneer mainstay Caroline Pounds. Reed sticks the dismount. You can tell by the excitement of her team. She's been great with the dismount this year, and her landing has been pretty precise every time on her bar routine this year as well, at least at home. Great job on vault for Smith.
Yeah, she landed that Yurchenko full straight up and down. No deduction for that test there.
Jersey Bingman on floor for Kent State. She is a 5'5" sophomore who trained at World Class Gymnastics. Career high 9.85 versus Ball State University on March 9th, 2025.
First pass a little under-rotated, but she came back strong with that second one.
Bingman actually has a little portion of her music that's also in Kylie Gambari's routine. So excited to see the differences there in the choreography. Pretty popular choice this year on the music.
I think one of my favorite parts is listening to all the music and hearing the variety.
Slight fall for Weaver on the beam here. She pulls it back together. It takes a lot of courage, obviously, once you fall off to finish out your routine on the beam. So excited for her that she was able to finish that out.
Definitely a strong mental game there.
Luckily, Oregon State will be able to drop their lowest score, so that may be the one that they end up dropping. Elena Reed, 9.75 on bars. Great performance from her. Kaylee Cheek, 9.825 on beam for Oregon State. Delaney Kelly, 9.825 on floor. Don't think we reported that score to you all in the last rotation. And catching up here on vault, Perler, 9.8, and Smith, 9.85. bar flat up for Arizona State. Slight fall here. You can tell slight disappointment on there, but she did have a great floor routine, something to be proud of in the first half of rotations here. Again, slight fall for bar flat, but looking to see how the Sun Devils come back from that. She was in the expedition spot, so still a lot left in the season to grow from. Lauren Lecce up for Oregon State. From Golden, Colorado, trained at the Colorado Connections Academy. Career high on beam, 9.95 versus the Air Force on March 15th of last year. So pretty high score normally for Oregon State on beam.
Gorgeous series, front aerial to back tuck. It's a very hard one to do for that connection. She does it flawlessly. Beautiful dismount.
Definitely with her dismount showed why she is capable of a 9.95. Oregon State brought out the chainsaw tonight. Fortes on floor for Kent State. A fun ending to her routine there. Danny Fortes, a 4'10 junior who trained at Olympia Gymnastics Academy. Career high 9.975 versus Bowling Green on March 17th, 2024. Pretty rough freshman year, had a season-ending injury, but she's back competing already. And as you see, she's a part of Kent State's really competitive floor lineup here. Also, before the season got started, she was named a MAC preseason gymnast to watch. Sophia Exposito up on beam for Oregon State. She's a three-time Pac-12 a newcomer of the week, and also started her collegiate year off fantastic as the 2024 Pac-12 freshman of the year. Career high on beam 9.9 twice, most recently against San Jose State on March 9th last year. A little bit of a stumble here on beam, was able to regain her balance. She's still on the beam.
And that's what matters. Big reach series. Very nice switch to split. The switch split. Also difficult.
You can see she's taking her time using the choreography to get those breaths in.
Stands up a little too quick on the dismount. Takes a step backwards, but otherwise very, very nice. Good height, good rotation.
Kent State having a little bit of a party over there on the floor with Heidi Schultz. Danny Fortes 9.825 and Bingman 8.975 on floor. Pioneers all done on bars. Brooke Ferrari anchored out their bar rotation, scoring a 9.825, bringing their score to 48.95. On bars, overall score 97.875 so far after 2 rotations. So the Pioneers are halfway through tonight. Up next, they will have beam and floor. Sophia Exposito, 9.7 on beam for Oregon State. The last beam performance from Oregon State in the exposition spot will be Paulina Vargas. Again, those exposition spots are always great just so you can get scored in front of the judges and get used to performing in front of a crowd.
That's definitely getting that experience. Hopefully to make the lineup here soon.
Last year, Vargas did an expedition against San Jose State on January 17th, earning a 9.7. Sometimes I always wonder what's the music playing and also staying focused on beam, how you really have to be in your head to kind of stay focused on beam and kind of block out the crowd and the music, of course.
Absolutely. That is where the mental game on beam comes in. Got to stay locked in. We talk about having mental choreography just as much as regular choreography.
Oregon State all done with beam in their second rotation.
Overall, pretty good beam rotation, I would say. They look confident.
Kent State, Heidi Schultz, 9.725. Lena Mast up for Kent State in the expedition spot for floor. She's a 5'5" freshman with training at Legacy Gymnastics.
Very nice front double pull for her first pass. Chest up, good rotation, very clean. Very nicely passed. Judges are always watching where their feet land when they're doing those spins, and she landed very square, very nice. No deductions there. A little chest down on that Rudy, but she recovered very nicely.
That wraps up floor for Kent State. With the conclusion of floor, that wraps up our second rotation. Arizona State 98.175, TWU 97.875, Oregon State 97.8, Kent State 97.15. And we will go to a quick break, and we will have a second half of rotations coming right up for you right after the break. We welcome you back to Kitty Winter McGee Arena, where we have the third rotation of gymnastics for you tonight. Kent State on vault, Arizona State on bars, TWU on beam, and Oregon State on floor. TWU has made very dramatic changes this year in beam. They have really conquered the beam this year. Starting strong, they will have Sofia Hernandez, which is a mainstay on a couple of events for TWU. A veteran leader on the team.
Slight call on a series.
Seems like a little too much in the engine there. A lot of excitement and poise. Always great when a gymnast can get back on beam after falling. Takes a lot of guts, especially in front of a home crowd. So happy to see her back on here, finishing out her routine that she works so hard on every week.
Yeah. She was unfazed by the fall. Finished very strong. Great dismount. Just a slight step.
Over the years, she's definitely become a big part of the team, being in her junior year this year from Holly Springs, North Carolina. Career high 9.9 on beam at the WCG NIC finals on April 12th last year. Last year as well, for the TWU MIC championships, she earned 5th on beam to earn all MIC first team honors.
With the lead off having that fall, now TWU looks to hit the rest of these routines.
Elena Reed up next for TWU. Paulina Vargas on floor for Oregon State. As you all remember, we saw her in the expedition spot on beam. But a very fun and festive routine here for floor. Very strong pass for Reed.
She is flying off that beam. The height on those jumps. Wow. Great connection with the aerial split jump. Feet were a little off, but she didn't let it phase her. She kept it moving.
Showing a lot of control in her motions. Looking to get back locked in on this last pass to dismount.
Beautiful. Very happy about that routine.
She's grown a lot over the years as well.
Getting back to hit a routine that strong after a fall shows a lot. Big score.
9.9. Excuse me, 9.85 for Elena Reed. The sophomore from right around town in McKinney, Texas. Child development major here at TWU. One thing TWU definitely prides themselves in doing is building great athletes, but even better citizens into the world, and just really taking pride in a lot of the different majors that they offer here at the university, being child development. Back into gymnastics a little bit. She's had her career high 3 times, most recently on March 15th. Great stuff on a vault for Kent State.
Beautiful stuff for Yurchenko.
Rankin coming in at 9.675 for the Golden Flashes. Sophia Steffen.
Great mount with the front tuck. Very difficult, but she made it look effortless. Solid series.
So far, Arizona State on bars 9.425 and 9.575. Very fun wink from Sophia Steffen, bringing in some personality into beam, which is pretty hard to do, especially since it's not floor. But love that she kind of has that element of personality to ease her nerves a little bit. Dismount here.
And
Great job.
that's it.
Great job for Sophia Steffen.
You always do better when you're having fun, especially on beam. She looked like she was having fun.
Great vault from Kent State. A slight sidestep, but other than that, a very aggressive vault
Huge
from the
fight on
Golden
that vault.
Flashes for sure. Kylie Gambari only in her second year with the Pioneers. A true force on the floor. Making her way into the beam rotation.
I love how much Kylie just attacks these events. She really gets after it.
Sophia Isabel and Ruby Gold on beam. Left for the Pioneers. Ruby Gold taking a second to become one with the beam, as they say.
Absolutely. I always tell my girls, make sure you talk nice to the beam, and it'll be nice to you.
A great showing from Ruby on the beam. Last time the Pioneers were at home.
Very difficult series. Back handspring to aerial.
Looks like she's having a bit of fun after landing that last skill.
Yeah. Nails her jump series. She struggled a little bit with that in warm-up, but no problems here.
Super exciting routine from Ruby. She's been working really hard over the past year. Marshall just finished up on floor for Oregon State. Ruby in her senior year this year with a career high of 9.85 versus Oklahoma on February 18th, 2023. Last but not least, Sophia Isabel for beam for the Pioneers.
Ruby matches her career high with a 9.85.
Some Kent State floor scores for you. Fortes, 9.825. Schultz, 9.725. And Brenner, 9.85. Checking back here on the beam. Ruby, 9.85. Kylie Gambari, 9.85. Sophia Stephan, 9.8. Beautiful pass from Isabel.
Effortless dismount by Sophia.
Super exciting performance from Isabel for sure. You can see the excitement in the celebration there. Coaches are loving it. Teammates are loving it. A great
finish
night for her.
For them to come back and hit 5 for 5 after that first fall. Big kudos.
Savannah Miller just finished up on floor for Oregon State. All-around senior from Michigan. She's gotten a career high 8 times, 9.9, most recently versus Washington and Alaska on February 10th last year. She's also earned a 9.8 or higher for 10 routines and ended the regular season with averages of a 9.771 on the floor, hitting on 15 of 17 routines. So she's a great component, great veteran leader for Oregon State, Savannah Miller. TWU is all finished on beam, bringing their score for beam to 49.025. The last showing of the Pioneers will be on floor in their fourth and last rotation. Oregon State will have 2 more floor performances, as we have Exposito getting ready to start here, and then Richardson will close off in the expedition spot, but Exposito will anchor floor for Oregon State. And we are already seeing why she's chosen for the anchor position.
Starting off strong with the front tuck, double pike. Very pretty, very high.
Sophia Exposito, career high 9.95 twice on floor.
She's definitely bringing the energy. Very fun to watch. Front layout to Rudy. Gorgeous. Good lines, good height, clean landing.
What a great routine from Sophia Exposito. Just showed why she's been able to get a 9.95 twice with this routine.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that here today.
Definitely trying to inch her way towards a 10 before the season is over. Score in for Sophia Isabel on a beam for the Pioneers, 9.875.
I'm a little surprised. Very clean.
Cameron Richardson on floor for Oregon State from Pearland, Texas. And she's a newcomer to this Oregon State squad in her freshman year. Great for her to get these collegiate reps in the expedition spot.
Getting great height on those jumps and those leaps. very fun routine.
Sophia Exposito, 9.7 for Oregon State. We will be back with Richardson's score on floor. And in the fourth and final rotation of gymnastics tonight, we'll have vault, Oregon State, bars, Kent State, beam, Arizona State, and TWU will close out the party on floor. And we will have the last and final rotation for you right after the break. We've got all the action here for you back in Kitty Winter McGee Arena. Cami Zarlingo starting it off on floor for the Pioneers. Here we go.
Very big double back. Chest up on the landing, very clean. She's definitely bringing the energy on floor, getting everyone pumped.
This is Arlingo's second year with this routine. Usually in collegiate gymnastics, every 2 years, the gymnast will get a new floor routine, gives them a chance to perfect it and obviously aim for that perfect 10. This year, she's a senior from Colorado, majoring in education.
Just a little feet apart on that front pass. But wow, she is a great dancer. Crowd loved that one.
Great way to start off floor for the Pioneers. Definitely understand why the coaches chose to have her in that beginning spot for Pioneers.
Bringing that energy for the first routine.
Arizona State on beam. Amazing dismount. Kept her balanced the whole way through.
Had a little bit of bobbles throughout, but otherwise very nice routine.
Oregon State doing well on vaults. Already have a score in for Crab, 9.725. First score in for bars for Kent State for Mass, 9.775. Bailey Boothwash on floor for the Pioneers.
Big step out of that double pike, but major height on it. Needs to show a little more control.
Junior nursing major from Gonzales, Louisiana. Adele Osei on beam for Arizona State. She's already a freshman, again, that has worked her way into the lineup 5'4" freshman from New Jersey. She's also homeschooled, which is also something not really foreign to gymnasts. You'll see a lot of gymnasts are sometimes homeschooled just because a lot of high schools do not offer gymnastics programming, so they're able to be homeschooled to be able to have that gymnastics programming as a part of their daily schedule to be able to get to the point till you see them competing here at the college level. Great performance by Bailey Bourgeois for the Pioneers.
She finished that routine strong with some very good landings.
Sophia El Maman up for the Sun Devils. She's been a standout freshman this year from New Haven, Connecticut. 5'6", as we mentioned. She has been a Big 12 Specialist of the Week, the third weekly award for the season for the overall Sun Devil Gymnastics program. So a great addition, a great recruit this year for the Sun Devils. OC 9.7 on beam for Arizona State. Cami Zarlingo started off the floor party for TWU at 9.775. Great eye contact for Sophia on beam with the judges.
The routine's been very, very clean so far. Good lines. And a sick dismount. She gave away very little in that routine.
Flawless routine on bars from Kent State. Sophia Stefan is on floor for the Pioneers. Bailey Bourgeois, 9.8 for the Pioneers. Some Oregon State vault scores for you. Marsha, 9.75. Miller, 9.775. And Buckner, 9.85. Richardson.
Big vault.
For her to be just a freshman, a lot in store for what she can do for this Oregon State team over the years. Great pickup on their end in the recruiting phase of things. Isabella Cowan, a 5'5" all-around senior for the Sun Devils. She's up next on beam.
Starting with a very impressive mount, press handstand, all the way up. Takes a lot of strength. Beautiful feet work. Didn't quite had that foot on after the front aerial. Big bobble there.
Great recovery there. There will be a slight deduction for having to hold on to the beam with her other extremities, but other than that, great job saving the routine and not falling. Sophia Hernandez on floor for the Pioneers. She always has amazing facials in her routines.
Absolutely. Her energy is unmatched on floor. I don't think anyone else looks like they're having more fun than Sophia.
Sophia Hernandez in her junior year as a Pioneer, career high on floor, 9.95 versus Missouri, February 3rd in 2023. Very fun way to end her routine as well.
Very fun.
Sophia L. Montman, 9.775 on beam for the Sun Devils. Kent State is all done on bars, bringing their bar score to 49.0. Kylie Gambard, one of the favorite floor routines of the night.
Here comes the first pass. Very clean double pike. Chest up on the landing. Really nothing there. Great job.
This is also Kylie's second year with this routine, and it just gets better and better every time we see it.
Each year I feel she's just a little more confident. Can't wait to see what she continues to bring. Last pass for Kylie. Huge double tuck. Flies out of it. Wow. Great height on that. Other than that landing on the double tuck, that was a beautiful routine by Kylie.
Sophia Isabel will anchor floor for the Pioneers. Mickens will have the expedition spot tonight for TWU. score for Kwan on beam. Just to remind everyone at home, she had a slight almost fall. Had to use her arms to grip on, but only saw a few deductions there. Not too much, ending with a 9.075. After Kwan, we saw Kayla Lee at 9.875. Great height there for Sophia Isabel on her last pass. Love the music choice for Isabel.
She's definitely selling this routine. Everyone else is with it, enjoying it.
Kimberly Smith on a beam for the Sun Devils, senior from Lake Forest, California.
So far she's been very, very sharp. Very fluid through those connections. Standing back, layout, step out to a split jump. Difficult, but she made it look easy.
Great performance from Sophia Isabel. Expecting that to definitely score high for the Pioneers. Big dismount for Kimberly. Great job.
Just needed a little more height for that stick. But she did a great job of just a slight hop.
Lichman for the Sun Devils will have the expedition spot tonight. Again, always a great opportunity to display what you have in front of some judges, see where you land. Kylie Gambari, 9.7 on floor. We expected a slight deduction there for the way she landed out of her last pass. Not sure if we expected to see a 9.7, but definitely did notice there would be a deduction there. So TW is going to drop that score. Score for Sophia Isabel has already come in at a 9.85. Autumn Mickens is a freshman from Kansas City, Missouri. Haven't seen a lot of competition from her this year, but excited to see her out on the floor getting a score for floor just so she can see where she ranks. And also, too, she has a lot to build up on. Again, only a freshman. In 2021, she was the regional floor champion in Kansas. She's been a gymnast since she was 5 years old and competed with multiple club teams, including Integrity Gymnastics and Desert Devil Gymnastics, and most recently, gold medal gymnastics.
Showing a lot of power on that floor. Very big double pike.
Great job from Richmond, especially to be in the expedition spot. I mean, she almost could have been in the regular rotation.
Absolutely beautifully team. Great stick on the dismount.
So it looks like we have wrapped all of our performances for today. To give scores for the Sun Devils, just finishing up on beam, 48.9. TW on floor ends their floor score with a 49.075. Kent State finishes up 49. And from the looks of it right now, we have TWU at 1, but we will wait until final scores are solidified, and a 9.625 for Autumn Mickens. Great way to start off the year, and can't wait to see how she builds on that for the remainder of her career here for the Pioneers. So we will take a second for a break, and we will confirm our winners as soon as we come back from the break. We welcome you back into Kitty Winter McGee Arena, where we just honored all of our alumni, as it is Alumni Day, as we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. Looks like tonight TWU are our winners. Great day to win at home. So we have TWU coming in at first with 195.975. Oregon State with a close second, 195.775. It just shows you how close things can get in gymnastics. Arizona State coming in at third, 195.55. And last but certainly not least, we had a great time hosting Kent State at well, coming in at 195.075. Up next for the Pioneers, they will have another quad meet next week. Well, they will see Arizona State again, actually. So in that quad meet next week back at Kitty McGee Arena, we'll have Florida coming from Gainesville, Arizona State, and Fisk University. You might have heard Fisk a couple of times because one of their seniors, Morgan Price, who is now at Arkansas, just scored the first 10 in Arkansas program history. So congrats to Miss Morgan Pierce on that. It's been such a great time on the broadcast today. Do you have any closing thoughts, Tiffany?
It was just super awesome to witness great gymnastics. Very proud of TWU taking that win. They showed a lot of heart and a lot of grit, especially on beam, and I just can't wait to see how they finish this season out.
TW just getting started for the season, already showing some amazing things. So make sure you stay with us next week, February 27th at 7 p.m. here on Flow College. Thank you again for joining us, and good night.